Welcome to our exploration of geoeconomic fragmentation, a phenomenon that's rapidly reshaping the world economy. In today's interconnected world, geopolitical tensions and shifting alliances are redrawing the global trade map. Countries are reconsidering who they trade with, and businesses are rethinking where they produce goods. This video will guide you through the causes, effects, and future implications of these changes, starting with the basics of geoeconomics and why it matters for everyone, from governments to everyday consumers. Let's begin by understanding what geoeconomic fragmentation really means and why it's become a hot topic in international affairs. Geoeconomic fragmentation refers to the process where economic relations between countries become divided due to political or strategic reasons. Instead of a seamless global market, we see blocks of countries forming tighter economic ties within their groups while distancing themselves from others. This isn't just about tariffs or trade wars, it's about a fundamental shift in how nations interact economically. As alliances shift and new rivalries emerge, the world's economic landscape is becoming more complex and less predictable. Understanding this concept is key to grasping the changes happening in global trade today. Geopolitics plays a central role in geoeconomic fragmentation. When countries have conflicting interests or security concerns, they often adjust their economic policies accordingly. For example, if two nations are in a political dispute, they might impose trade restrictions or seek alternative partners. These decisions are not just about economics, they're deeply tied to national security and strategic interests. As a result, global supply chains and trade routes are being reconfigured, with countries prioritizing alliances that align with their political goals. As global power dynamics evolve, countries are forming new alliances and partnerships. These shifts are often driven by shared interests, security concerns, or economic opportunities. For instance, some nations are strengthening regional trade agreements, while others are seeking new partners outside traditional blocs. This realignment is causing the global trade map to look very different from just a decade ago. The result is a more fragmented, but also more dynamic international economic system. Fragmentation of economic relations is having a profound impact on global trade. Traditional trade routes are being reconsidered, and companies are looking for ways to reduce risks associated with geopolitical tensions. This means that supply chains are becoming shorter and more localized, as businesses seek to avoid disruptions caused by political conflicts. The overall effect is a shift away from globalization towards more regionalized trade networks. One of the most significant trends emerging from geoeconomic fragmentation is nearshoring. This involves moving production and supply chains closer to end markets, rather than relying on distant countries. Nearshoring helps companies reduce transportation costs, minimize risk from global disruptions, and respond more quickly to market changes. It's a strategic response to the uncertainties created by geopolitical tensions and shifting alliances. Companies are increasingly choosing nearshoring to gain greater control over their supply chains. By moving production closer to their main markets, businesses can avoid delays, reduce costs, and better manage risks. This trend is especially strong in industries where speed and flexibility are crucial, such as technology and consumer goods. Nearshoring also allows companies to adapt quickly to changing market demands and regulatory environment. Let's look at some real-world examples of nearshoring. Many North American companies are moving manufacturing from Asia to Mexico or other nearby countries. European firms are relocating production to Eastern Europe or North Africa. These moves are driven by the desire to be closer to customers, reduce shipping times, and avoid geopolitical risks. Nearshoring is becoming a key strategy for businesses seeking stability in an uncertain world. As nearshoring gains momentum, global supply chains are being reshaped. Companies are reevaluating their sourcing strategies, looking for suppliers that are geographically closer and more reliable. This shift is leading to the development of new regional supply hubs and a greater emphasis on building resilient networks. The result is a more flexible and responsive supply chain system, better equipped to handle future disruption. Move towards regionalization is a defining feature of today's global economy. Instead of relying on far-flung partners, countries and companies are focusing on building strong regional ties. This trend is evident in the growth of regional trade agreements and the increasing importance of local markets. Regionalization offers greater stability and predictability, but it also means that global integration is slowing down. Emerging markets are both challenged and presented with new opportunities by geoeconomic fragmentation. On one hand, they may lose access to traditional export markets. On the other, they can become attractive destinations for nearshoring and regional investment. Countries that can adapt quickly and offer competitive advantages stand to benefit from these shifts, while others may struggle to keep up. Developing countries face unique challenges in this new landscape. Many rely heavily on global supply chains and export markets that are now shifting. As production moves closer to end markets, some developing economies risk being left behind. To stay competitive, these countries need to invest in infrastructure, education, and innovation, ensuring they remain attractive partners in the evolving global economy. Not all countries or industries are affected equally by geoeconomic fragmentation. Some regions like Mexico or Eastern Europe are emerging as winners by attracting new investment and jobs. Others, especially those far from major markets or lacking infrastructure, may lose out. The ability to adapt quickly and offer value-added services will determine who thrives in this new environment. Consumer markets are also being reshaped by these trends. As production moves closer to end users, companies can respond more quickly to changing tastes and preferences. This means more customized products, faster delivery times, and greater responsiveness to local needs. However, it also requires businesses to be more agile and innovative in their operations. Technology is a key enabler of nearshoring and regionalization. Advances in automation, digital platforms, and logistics make it easier for companies to operate efficiently across shorter distances. Technology also helps businesses monitor supply chains, manage risks, and adapt to changing market conditions. As digital tools become more widespread, the pace of geoeconomic fragmentation is likely to accelerate. Building resilient supply chains is now a top priority for many companies. By diversifying suppliers and moving production closer to key markets, businesses can better withstand shocks like political disputes or natural disasters. Resilience is about being prepared for the unexpected and having the flexibility to adapt quickly when challenges arise. National security is a major driver of geoeconomic fragmentation. Governments are increasingly concerned about the risks of relying on foreign suppliers for critical goods, such as semiconductors or medical equipment. As a result, many countries are encouraging domestic production and seeking to secure supply chains within friendly or allied nations. Trade policies are shifting in response to geoeconomic fragmentation. Governments are introducing new tariffs, export controls, and investment restrictions to protect their interests. These measures can disrupt established trade flows and force companies to rethink their global strategies. The result is a more complex and challenging environment for international business. Multinational corporations are at the forefront of adapting to geoeconomic fragmentation. These companies have the resources and expertise to adjust their operations, relocate production, and manage complex supply chains. Their decisions have a significant impact on global trade patterns and the economic fortunes of entire regions. Small and medium-sized enterprises (SMEs) also need to adapt to the new reality. While they may lack the resources of large corporations, SMEs can benefit from being nimble and responsive. By focusing on local markets and building strong regional partnerships, small businesses can find new opportunities in a fragmented world. Shift towards nearshoring and regionalization is also affecting labor markets. As production moves closer to end markets, new jobs are created in some regions while others may experience job losses. Workers need to adapt by acquiring new skills and being open to new opportunities. Governments and businesses must work together to support workforce transitions. Environmental concerns are increasingly influencing decisions about production and supply chains. Nearshoring can reduce carbon emissions by shortening transportation distances and encouraging more sustainable practices. However, it also requires careful planning to ensure that new production sites meet environmental standards and contribute to long-term sustainability. Innovation is essential for staying competitive in a fragmented global economy. Companies that invest in new technologies, processes, and products are better positioned to succeed. Nearshoring and regionalization can drive innovation by fostering closer collaboration between businesses, suppliers, and customers within the same region. Geoeconomic fragmentation has significant financial implications for companies and countries alike. Shifting supply chains and changing trade patterns can affect costs, profits, and investment decisions. Businesses need to carefully assess the financial risks and opportunities associated with nearshoring and regionalization. Changes in supply chains and trade policies can impact consumer prices. While nearshoring may reduce some costs, it can also lead to higher prices for certain goods if production becomes more expensive. Consumers may notice changes in product availability, quality, and pricing as companies adjust to the new economic landscape. Geoeconomic fragmentation can influence overall global economic growth. While some regions benefit from new investment and jobs, others may experience slower growth or even decline. The balance between regionalization and globalization will play a key role in shaping the future of the world economy. Political implications of geoeconomic fragmentation are far-reaching. As countries prioritize national interests and security, international cooperation may become more challenging. This can lead to increased tensions, but also new opportunities for diplomacy and negotiation. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for policymakers and business leaders alike. International organizations like the World Trade Organization, WTO, play a vital role in managing the challenges of geoeconomic fragmentation. By setting rules and facilitating dialogue, these organizations help maintain stability and resolve disputes. However, their effectiveness depends on the willingness of countries to cooperate and uphold shared principles. Is globalization coming to an end? Not necessarily. While geoeconomic fragmentation is slowing the pace of global integration, it's also creating new forms of cooperation and competition. The future will likely involve a mix of regionalization and selective globalization, as countries and companies seek the right balance between openness and security. The relationship between the United States and China is a prime example of geoeconomic fragmentation in action. Trade tensions, tariffs, and strategic competition have led both countries to rethink their economic ties. This has resulted in supply chain shifts, new alliances, and a more cautious approach to cross-border investment. Europe is also adapting to geoeconomic fragmentation. The European Union is strengthening internal markets, investing in strategic industries, and seeking new trade partners. These efforts aim to reduce dependence on external suppliers and enhance the region's economic resilience. Asia remains a key player in the global economy, but the region is also experiencing shifts in trade and investment patterns. Countries like Vietnam, India, and Indonesia are attracting new investment as companies diversify away from China. Regional cooperation and competition are both intensifying, shaping the future of Asian economies. Latin America is emerging as a potential winner from nearshoring trends. Proximity to North American markets and competitive labor costs make the region attractive for new investment. However, success depends on political stability, infrastructure development, and the ability to meet international standards. Africa faces both challenges and opportunities in the era of geoeconomic fragmentation. While some countries may struggle to attract investment, others can benefit from nearshoring if they invest in infrastructure and education. Regional integration efforts, such as the African Continental Free Trade Area, could help unlock the continent's economic potential. Middle East is adapting to new economic realities by diversifying away from oil and investing in technology, logistics, and manufacturing. As global trade patterns shift, the region is positioning itself as a hub for regional and international business. Success will depend on continued reforms and the ability to attract foreign investment. Infrastructure is a critical factor in the success of nearshoring and regionalization. Efficient transportation, reliable energy, and advanced digital networks are essential for attracting investment and supporting modern supply chains. Countries that invest in infrastructure are better positioned to benefit from the new economic landscape. Skilled workforce is vital for success in a fragmented global economy. Education and training programs help workers adapt to new technologies and changing job requirements. Countries that invest in human capital are more likely to attract investment and create high-quality jobs. Innovation drives economic growth and competitiveness. In a world of shifting alliances and fragmented markets, companies and countries that prioritize research, development, and creativity will lead the way. Innovation also helps address challenges like supply chain disruptions and changing consumer demands. Digital transformation is accelerating in response to geoeconomic fragmentation. Companies are investing in digital tools to manage supply chains, communicate with partners, and serve customers more effectively. Digitalization enables greater flexibility and resilience, helping businesses navigate an uncertain world. Resilience is more important than ever in today's unpredictable environment. Companies and countries that can adapt quickly to change, manage risks, and recover from setbacks will be best positioned for success. Building resilience requires investment in people, technology, and infrastructure. At the heart of all these changes are people, workers, consumers, and leaders making decisions every day. The human element is crucial in shaping the future of the global economy. By investing in education, fostering innovation, and supporting communities, we can ensure that geoeconomic fragmentation leads to shared prosperity. The world is entering a new era of economic complexity. Geoeconomic fragmentation will continue to shape trade, investment, and innovation in the years ahead. By understanding these trends and preparing for change, businesses and governments can turn challenges into opportunities and build a more resilient global economy. To sum up, geoeconomic fragmentation is redrawing the global trade map. Nearshoring, regionalization, and shifting alliances are creating new challenges and opportunities. Success in this environment requires adaptability, innovation, and a focus on building resilient supply chains and strong regional partnerships. As we navigate this era of change, it's important to stay informed and proactive. Geoeconomic fragmentation is not just a challenge, it's an opportunity to rethink how we do business, collaborate, and innovate. By embracing new strategies and working together, we can build a more sustainable and inclusive global economy. Thank you for joining us on this journey through geoeconomic fragmentation. The world is changing, and understanding these shifts is essential for everyone involved in global trade and business. By staying adaptable and focusing on resilience, we can all play a part in shaping the future of the world economy.